Good afternoon. This is Dina. I am one of the sales builder gurus here at Granbury, and I'm usually your webinar host. And today we are going to be covering the email broadcast topic again. I know that we've done it once already this year, but this is a really important tool and feature for sales builders. So we want to make sure that everyone understands it and can navigate around the email broadcast tool with ease. So we just wanted to show you guys again, just a run through, go over some quick topics for the broadcast tool and how to utilize that. Remember that you can put in questions. You can type in questions if you've got some for me, and at the end of the session I will try to answer those for you as best as I can. Also, if you've got issues, you're trying to do your own broadcast and you need a little more help, then you can go to the support portal and put in a support ticket, and one of us will gladly assist you there. So just to get started, some of you guys may already know how to do this, but we're just going to kind of walk through from the beginning on sending a broadcast. So your first step is you log into your Sales Builder, and you'll see the home screen here. So you're going to highlight over this Communications tab, and you're going to click on Broadcast. And this will bring up a separate pop-up screen like you just saw it do. I will point out that Internet Explorer doesn't exactly go hand in hand with Sales Builder, so it's best to use Chrome. That's what I typically use. You can try some of the other browsers out there as well. I know Safari works pretty well with Sales Builder, but if you're using a PC, just try to stick with Chrome as your browser, just so that there's not any hiccups when you're trying to do the broadcast tool. So sending broadcasts, we've got templates for you in here, kind of centered around holidays. When we create your account, we always create a template for you that looks like your emails that you can kind of go with and use to send out just random, more scheduled email broadcasts to your customers. We suggest, at least once a week sending out an email. You don't want to bombard your loyalty customers and get them, too annoyed by too many emails. But it is good that, especially if you're given good information, once a week, run through your specials, anything that you've got going on, any news for your restaurant or location. We really strongly advise you to stay in front of your customers, at least once a week. And with the broadcast tool, it's pretty simple. You can create emails and schedule them out. So if you've got like a Tuesday special every Tuesday, you can create an email that goes out every Tuesday for that month, just to remind your customers. And we tend to think, in the mornings are kind of the best time to send out emails for the broadcast. It just seems to get a better response if you send them earlier in the morning instead of later in the evening. So let's just run through one of these just to make sure everyone's comfortable. You can see through the list here that I've got different holiday emails, like I said, that we put in there for you. And then here there's one that I created that's just actually one of our customers. It's their template. But you can change these up, based on whatever you're doing. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys just like if you're wanting to send out a non-holiday themed or centered email broadcast, something that you're just getting in front of your customers, then using the pre-built template is probably the easiest way to go. It sticks in line with the branding that you already got going with your other campaign emails. You can to spice things up so you're not sending the same, look every single time. We suggest changing the pictures out, doing something like that. But at least it'll stay consistent with your logos and things like that. So in this case, we'll just leave the picture as it is. And we put these here for you just to kind of give you an idea of what goes where. So right here you would enter a title. Let's just say, for instance, we want to let our customers know that we're going to do 20% off online orders Friday. So you can put your title in. This right here, anytime you see something that looks like this with an exclamation point and then text here in the middle, kind of sandwiched by another one here, these are what we call tags. And what this is going to do is the system's going to automatically pull the first name of that customer when this tag is put in here. So we're going to leave that because we want to keep it personal. Instead of just saying dear valued customer, this one will actually say dear John or dear Susie, and then you can enter your text under here. So you just want to delete that out. And here's where you would put in what you're wanting to get across. So we're just going to type something really quick. Oh, I don't guess stop by is a good one. Order online. Okay. And then it's got my signature here. Again, this is a tag, and we put those in there for you. You don't have to use them. Your signature is going to be your business name and your physical address, your business phone number, and your web URL. So that's all kind of combined in your signature. So if you want something different here, if you want to change that up and not have all that information there, then you can just delete that out and then put what you want to put. Like if it's a message from the manager and you want it to just have the manager's name, then that's how you would do that. So the rest I'm just going to leave as is. And this button that I pushed right here, it just expanded the screen and made it bigger. It can be a little difficult to see in the smaller window here. So this button is good for expanding it while you're actually editing the email. So here's where you would change the subject if you want to change that. These buttons right here, these are just typical editing buttons for the email. If you want to change your font, the size, color, you can add pictures using this button here. And it'll bring this window up, and this is where you would, if you hit Browse Server, you can add pictures that aren't currently in your file manager. Just hit Upload File, and you can upload your own picture files and input them, or you can use ones that are already in your file manager. Okay, and then this button right here, this is a good one when you're doing broadcasts if you want to add a link to an outside site. then what you would do is you would just highlight over the text or image that you want to link, and then you could click this here. So, if I wanted to add an extra link that goes to my online ordering website, then I could do that here. And then I would just hit OK. Okay, so we're going to not actually have any kind of offer that we attach to this one. So when we hit the next step, we're not actually attaching an offer, we're just advertising a kind of all-around special that's going on. So we won't actually attach anything here. So we just skip that. But that's where you would attach an offer if you wanted to have an offer that you were sending out. So you would just name it here, because it won't let you actually continue on unless you change the name here, and you can save it as a template. So if you make changes like the I was talking about, if you do something every Tuesday, like if you do a special that runs every Tuesday, and you want to save that particular email as a template, here is where you would check this box right here, and that way, if you scheduled them out for the month, but you want to come back in the next month and reschedule them out, then it's already made up, it's already created as a template, and you don't have to start over and re-input all of the information back in again. So you could just kind of basically do what we just did, opening the template that we did, and if you wanted to, just for some versatility, change out the pictures, or make it a little bit different, spice things up, you could do that from that template, just so you're not having to start back from scratch again. So the sending to category here, this is really good. Now if we're advertising that, like on Friday, we're doing 20% off online orders for everybody, then obviously we would want this to go to all of our customers. So I would just leave this as is, so that it would go, it's going to automatically populate this number here to go to all of your customers, all of your email customers. But if we're doing something different, and you don't want it to go to all of your customers, and you want to kind of narrow down who you're sending things to, this is where you would do it. So we would come here, and there's a drop down where it says End Filter. If you drop that down, this gives you a few options for narrowing down who you're sending the emails out to. So if we just want to target our customers that are more frequent, then maybe we will just go with whoever's visited in the last 30 days. If we're looking to target customers that aren't as frequent and don't come in as much, we can use this to kind of narrow down customers that haven't been in the past 3 months. This right here, the customers that have spent more than $100 in the last 30 days, that's a good one if you want to kind of recognize your more valued customers who's coming in and spending more with you. Let's see. Sorry, I've got the sniffles today. As you can see, there's just different ways to filter out who you're sending the emails to. So if you just want to come in here and get creative, then this is a good tool to use, to where you're not blasting out to every single person that's in your email list. Okay. And then this scheduled tab down here, this is where I was mentioning that you can schedule out emails. So it's going to automatically default to send immediately, but if you change it to scheduled for, it's going to pull up a calendar here, and you can set down to the actual minute when you want the email to send. So, if we wanted this to send Friday, we would want it to go out pretty early to let them know. I typically do like the 6 a.m. I think is pretty good. So we'll just leave it here at 6:19. And that's how you schedule them for a later date. And then you would just hit save to save everything that you've done. And see, because we had it checked here for the template, it created a template with the changes that I had made to the previous template. So it created a new one, and that will show up when we start the process over, where you select the message in the first step. Also, before, just word of advice here, before you actually send it out, here on the last page, it's a good idea to send yourself a test first. You just hit the send the test button, and then you can put your email in here. I will let you guys know that in some, I believe it's Outlook, some of the images, if you input your own image into the editor, and you resize it inside of the editor instead of outside of the editor, then I think it's Outlook, I'm pretty sure, that will leave it the larger size when it's shown. So it's a good idea just to kind of send yourself a test and look and make sure that everything is aligned the way it's supposed to be and the way that it looks on your broadcast screen. So you would just put your email in here. And the test emails, they take a little bit longer, so I'd give it, maybe 5 minutes just to make sure that you get the test email. Okay. And so once you verify on your test email that everything looks good, then you can go ahead and hit your send. And what that's going to do is it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to send? Just hit OK. And it's been accepted for processing. Now remember, we scheduled this one out, so it's not going to send it immediately. The way to check what you have scheduled out is here on this initial screen. When you open the broadcast tool, there are tabs right here. There's a draft tab, a schedule tab, and a sent tab. If you click on that schedule tab, you'll see the email here that I just scheduled, and it will pull it up, and you can see when it's supposed to go out and what time. Okay. And then the sent tab, this is going to show your sent broadcasts, what time and date they were sent. So the draft tab here, you can always start something and then go back later and finish it. So this is where you would find it if you saved it but you didn't want to send it. You can open the broadcast tool at a later date, come back in, hit the draft tab, select the message, hit open message, and finish the process. So you can finish working on it and then get it sent or schedule it out. So we'll go back here to the templates. Does anybody have any questions about selecting the templates? What type of information to be sending out to your customers? Anything like that you guys might have questions about? kind of check in here. Okay, so there's so with scheduling a broadcast, can it be set as recurring? Technically, the only way to set it as recurring is if you kind of manually set each one. So, once, like this one, once I got it scheduled, I could go back in and just reschedule another one. So I would just come in here and reschedule and like change the date for a week later if I wanted it to go out every Friday, and then save it and hit send. You could do that all at one time so that, it is some extra steps. You can't actually have it set to go out every single Friday, but you can manually create one to go out each Friday. And if you're using the same one, then it's pretty simple. It's just a couple of extra clicks, and you scheduled a new one and got it out there. So that's kind of the way to do that. Were there any other questions? Okay. Well, hang on. Another question. Does this work with Coffee Shop Manager? Yes. If you're a sales builder or customer with Coffee Shop Manager, it all works the same with any point of sale. So, your customers go in and you can send them out from Sales Builder. Now, it doesn't actually come from Coffee Shop Manager. Really, the only kind of integration there is if you're signing up your customers through Coffee Shop Manager, then that's how Sales Builder's getting the email addresses. They're being sent from Coffee Shop Manager into Sales Builder, into that database, and that's where you're going to go in and actually create the email broadcast and send from Sales Builder. So yes, Sales Builder does work with Coffee Shop Manager. I can't really see who asked, but so I'm not sure if you've got it together and integrated, but they do work together and record. They're fully interactive with each other and record all the transactions and everything. So. Okay, well, I believe that is all the questions, but like I said earlier, we're here to help. If you just need some help brainstorming ideas on what to send out to your customers, don't hesitate to put in a support ticket, and we will definitely do our best to try and help you brainstorm and create and utilize the program and get your customers really active with Sales Builder, and the more active you are, then I think the more active they're going to be and the more they're going to get out of it. So thank you for attending today's webinar, and I look forward to seeing everybody back again next month.